My kids just this week got their Fitbit Forces. So, is that a force?
That's the force right there.
So, okay, I have a kid who lives here with me, my son.
Yeah.
And when I asked him about it, I say, hey, because he's only had it for 2 days now. So I said, hey, did it wake you up? He goes, I'm awake, huh? I'm a smart ass. And I said, no, but you set the alarm. Is it working for you? Did the vibrations wake you up? And he looked at me like I was asking him a question in Chinese. And what I wanted to know is, kid, you have been used to being woken up by your phone's alarm, which is a sound, for a while now, and now you got something on your wrist that is vibrating.
Mm-hmm.
Did you turn off your phone and not have it go off and just slowly wake up by this thing, or did the phone go off too? And I couldn't get an answer out of him. So have you tried it yet with the vibration to see if it'll wake you up?
Okay, I don't know. I still use my phone to wake up. I have a nice little ringtone that's just very gently it gets me out of bed in the morning, which I really, really like. No, but it does. So there's 6 different measurements here. I'll show this in the camera. I'll cover this.
I wake up by someone giving me a back rub.
Oh God.
So I'd try that for an alarm.
So take that, alarm clock makers. So he's in Illinois, but he's from Great Britain. Okay. So I'll do a full review on this later, but I wanted to really use it for a month before I started writing. See these guys get these review units, they have it for 3 days, and they start writing about it. I'm like, come on, jackass. So you get really there's only one button, right? So you have a button on the side here that it controls everything. The power is underneath there, so you see that pillow power button. And so far, they say 5 to 7 days. I have not let it go that long before recharging it. Every once in a while, I just drop it on the charger's on the PC on the other side of the desk. If I'm going to be sitting here for a few minutes, I just throw it on the charger and let it sit for an hour, and it recharges itself. So those are the only buttons that are on there. And then when you're controlling this, you click it. Let's see if I can get this done. So click it once for the time, so you can see the time is on there. Click it twice. That tells me how many steps. So I've done 16,000.
16,000, nice.
234 steps today. That's been a record for me. About 8 miles. I put a 5 1/4 mile run in at work today, so that made a difference. This is let me flip it to the next one there. Okay, that's distance. Hold on, I got a bad angle here. Let's take it this way.
There you go.
So that's calories burned at that one. Whoops, about 3,000. Mm-hmm. And let's see. These are steps. So I did 44 floors today, or 44 floors. And then that is active minutes. So it keeps track of this this concept of active minutes during the day, not just sitting or moving around, but how many minutes. And my goal is 60 active minutes a day that I'm on there. So those are the measurements.
How accurate are you finding it to be, like in the steps and stuff like that?
Yeah, let's log in a little bit and I'll show you.
Are you
my desktop with you?
What is it using? Your arm motion, a GPS or something? I mean, how does it know?
It's got
driving to work and.
That's a great question. I don't know all the answers.
And all those times you lifted your arm up to show me that stuff, was that thinking that was the steps?
Yeah, it was counting it at that point. So it's supposedly there's some algorithms in there that are helping with measuring the arm swing, and there's an accelerometer, and this force now has the ability to track when you're going upstairs as well. And so it's funny because with the work that we've done at the university with Gallup, they have sensors that they can put on older people that tell when they're standing up and when they're sitting down and when they're wobbling, and they can actually predict a fall. So they know that when the data starts coming in this direction, that the propensity for that person to fall is much higher, and so they can take action on that person knowing that they may fall at some point, right, kind of based on where they're at. I think the same thing is true of these. In other words, there's a bunch of sensors in them, and then they've tested these over and over and over again and know these kinds of actions tend to be these kinds of things. And so it attempts to make some kind of guess as to what you're doing. It's certainly swinging your arm is easy because I went out for a walk when I first got it, and it only recorded the first half of the walk. The battery wasn't charged all the way. Yeah. So when I got home, I was mad. So I plugged it back in, and then I unplugged it, and then I shook my wrist for 20 minutes to make it catch up, right? Because I'm that guy. I am the guy who has to have all the stats right. So here's the dashboard, right? So this syncs with my phone. I'll show you the phone one here in a second. But
do you when you ran with it? You said
I did run with it today.
Any trouble with it slipping off? Feeling like it's
no, it feels great on the run. Okay. Yeah, no, very, 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 very comfortable on a run. No GPS, but it will measure your steps and those steps. And you can go in and set your stride. So if you have an abnormally long or a short stride, you can put all those things in, and it helps calibrate it if you want to do that.
And how on earth does it know when you're sleeping?
Well, you tell it you're sleeping. So you hold that button down for 2 seconds, and it goes into sleep mode. And then
what if it takes you like an hour to go fall asleep?
Well, I'll show you. That's a great question. So let me roll through some of this dashboard.
It doesn't for me, by the way. It takes about 2 minutes.
Yeah, I'm asleep in about 30 seconds. When you only sleep 5 hours a night, you tend to go to sleep really fast.
Yeah, exactly.
So if you look at the activity, you can see kind of during the day, red is not enough activity, and then yellow is more, and then green is high activity. So you can see my workout today, right?
Yeah.
Right, smack dab in the middle of the day was my workout. About 16,000 steps. I have goals. So if I didn't make the goals, like my goal is 10,000.
You're a champ.
I did. That's the most I've done so far since I've had it today. And then calories burned is another one of those things that tries to calculate based on your weight and your height and some of those other kind of things. There's no magic to that. Distance, again, about 8 miles of distance today between walking and running. I had about 64 active minutes, 44 floors. I don't know how I did 44 floors. This is where sometimes you get that feeling like you're like, yeah, I don't think it means what I think it means.
Yeah.
It got confused or something along those lines. Let's go into the sleep. So you were talking about sleep. This is last night for me, and as you can see, I only got 5 hours and 32 minutes of actual sleep. That was there, and it's kind of cool because it'll measure it against the week. Yeah. You can see I have a fairly consistent sleep schedule. Then around, I pretty much go to bed at midnight, wake up at 6:30 every day. But you can see little bits of red inactivity on before. So it's saying, hey, I was awake for 7 minutes before I went to sleep, and then at the end, and actually. This morning I forgot to turn it off when I woke up. So for 16 minutes it was on, still thinking I was sleeping. It was in sleep mode. Let's just put it that way until I turned it off. If we go to the day before here, you can kind of see that, I got it turned off. I've been getting it turned off in the mornings when I wake up. But you can kind of see yesterday I was awake for 5 minutes during that time, and that's actually true. I got in bed, set the timer, and then I realized, I forgot something downstairs. So I got up, didn't turn it off, went downstairs, did what I needed to do, came back up. It recorded that as awake time, right? Because
it also shows restless. That's cool.
Yeah, so 33 minutes of restlessness, and how many times I moved while I slept. So you can kind of see I moved on Sunday night. I moved 44 times. That was a lot, and I was very restless that night. I had trouble sleeping. I was having weird dreams. I was try to figure things out. You ever try to figure stuff out in your dreams?
Yeah.
That was Sunday night, right? And I'm always a little apprehensive before going back to work on Monday. I don't know why. I always am after a weekend. And then 16 times restless, so at 44, then 16 on Monday night, 15 2 nights ago, and then last night 19. So which is kind of cool, as you can start, one's a line, or one's a point, two's a line, three's a trend, right? So after a couple nights, you can start seeing your trends. That are on there.
So I bought one for both of my boys. One of them has already set it up, and I bought the scale too. Fitbit has the scale, so we bought the scale, and now I'm wondering, I need it more than both of my boys. One of them's a runner on the high school team, the other's a swimmer, so they're very active and in good shape. But I think I want to get one for me, maybe my wife.
Yeah, for a geek who likes to track everything.
Yeah.
These are the controls. So, you put your personal information in there. You can set the notifications. So low battery, step goals, new badges, friend request, message from friends. There's a whole friend network on this as well, where you can compete against one another.
Yeah.
Type thing, and so that's pretty cool. You can set up different devices. You might have this is the Force, but there is a Fitbit One. There's a Fitbit, what's the other ones?
Flex.
Flex. Yeah, here's I'll say add device. There's a
Yeah. So we have.
Flex. There's
Yeah.
a Zip. Yeah, this is the scale, right?
That's a scale. We have the white version of that. Yeah.
Mhm. And
What
that
is?
automatically connects to your network, and then do you tell it who you are so it tracks it?
Yeah, you have to do a little bit of setup with your Wi-Fi with it, and then you tell it your weight and all that kind of stuff. And I imagine as long as the people who are far enough apart in their weights, when you get on it, it goes, okay, you're this dude. And then when my kid gets on it, it knows that is. If you had two people that were close in weight, I don't know what it would do then.
Okay.
Somehow I would have to know. But all I do is get on it. It does the weight, and then because it's Wi-Fi, within a few seconds I have that weight logged on my phone and on the website.
Wouldn't it be great if it would ask you who you are when you step on it? Who is this? And you would say, "This is Mike," and then it would.
Well, it would be great if it had to, but in this case it's even better because it doesn't even have to. Because
Yeah.
I guess I weigh the most in the house.
Well, but you're right. What if you weighed the same as everybody else?
Yeah. So I don't know how my two kids are probably far enough apart that won't matter.
Sure.
But if you had two people who were close, yeah.
Well, here's the silent alarm, right? This is what you were talking about. So silent alarms use a quiet vibration to wake you. Now, whenever I hit the 10,000 goal on this thing, man, it vibrates like crazy. Like, you made it. You made it. I imagine that vibration would wake me up if I was.
You got to do a test and have it try to wake you up like 5 minutes early.
I'll set this. Well, let's just set it right now. So let me go in. I'm going to set an alarm for now. Again, this is syncing from there's a USB device on my PC that's going to link to the phone. So this is how this is. So I normally wake up at 6:30. So I'm going to wake up at 6:25 tomorrow a.m. Why didn't it like that? I'm only going to do it once. Okay, hold on. Why didn't? Oh. 06, then you got to put the little semicolon in there. 25.
26.
Oh, not 6:05. I don't want to wake up too early.
No, you don't want to.
Are you kidding? 6:25 is early enough. We're going to say once, and we're going to say save. So there you go. Now it'll sync to the device here in a few minutes, and there we go. So it's already done the sync. It says on the website there here on the bottom. It's waiting to sync. So
So what do you have to do to sync it?
Let me see. It will just automatically sync. Oh, I think I could go up to.
Well, the maximum weight on the scale, Lopta's asking, I think it was 350.
Okay.
I'll look it up while we're waiting there, Lopta.
Yeah, I haven't been watching chat, so I hope I haven't missed anything out there. I'm going to probably turn this into a little segment like we did the last time, since we're getting some good information out there. Sometimes these are the best little bits. So again, here's privacy. You can say what you want, right? When we talked about those friends, that you can connect with, maybe you don't want your friends to know what your weight is, and so you can shut that off to just you or your friends, or open it up to the public. And quite a few, there's a little bit of granularity on that, but not too much, that's in there.
Yeah, and that's something that my wife would definitely not want me to know. For whatever reason, she doesn't want me to know her weight. So she was worried that, I don't want to use that because then you would know my weight. So it's important for her to be able to set that where I won't be able to see it.
Yeah, there you go. You can get that. I have no apps, and then if I want to set up my sharing, if I want to tweet, I shut all that stuff off. I learned a long time ago people get sick of hearing that stuff on Facebook.
They do.
I worked out today, so I shut all that stuff off.
All right, I was right, Lopta. The maximum weight is 350.
Okay, and then all right, so that's just kind of a basic overview of the website. So that's pretty cool. But then they have they've got let's see if I can get this the right way. Hold on, that's not what I wanted.
About to turn your phone off.
Okay. Yeah, let's see if I can do. I think it's going to be too bright. Let me turn This is where I should have set up the old screen cam for tonight. There we go. You can almost see the.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go. So these are all the records that you saw in there, right? And I can actually, on the phone, I can single click any of them and reset the goals right from the phone, right? And then this syncs up to the website, which syncs up to the watch, and every time I go to the website, or every time I go to the Fitbit app on the phone, Android or iPhone, it automatically starts syncing. So it starts looking for the watch and saying, okay, I'm going to grab the most recent information that's out there. One of the really cool things is that the other day, there we go. The other day I was walking and I was looking at this, and as I was walking, it was updating the phone in real time, so I could see my steps like on the phone. And
Awesome.
so I'm walking, walking it, and watching it change.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, that's pretty motivating. You go up a flight of stairs, bam, one flight of stairs is counted. Dead
Yeah.
deal. And that's pretty cool. To test the accuracy of it, that would be a great way to do it. Is grab your phone, because you can see it's hard to do that on the watch, but grab the phone and start measuring things, and you can watch it in real time.
Yeah, and they also have where you can the app. I have the app too because we have the scale. So the only thing I have right now for me is the scale part. But you can do the whole tracking of your calories and all that kind of stuff in that thing too. We're getting way off track from what we started talking about at the beginning. But I had under my folder. I won't show you my weight thing, but I had a folder on one of my things called health, and in that health thing, I had 6 different apps in my health folder, and I was entering my weight every morning into 4 of them. And it's like, okay, because I couldn't decide which one I really wanted to. I just got the sleep warning on the Hangout. I couldn't decide which one of them I wanted to use. Well, ever since I got the Fitbit scale, I now don't have to worry about it. I just get on the scale, it weighs it for me, it uploads it wirelessly. I don't have to enter it anywhere. But it's made me want more data, and just watching your data and the sleep information, that'd be interesting to know.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I, as a data geek, I love data. It's just awesome, and so I picked it up on Sunday. I've been calling Sports Authority. I had a gift certificate for them, and no, I don't have it. No, we don't have it. No, we don't have it.
They've been on back order. Yeah.
Yeah, and I called Sunday morning thinking, I'll just try. I was up in that area, and I thought I'll just try real quick. And so the guys, hey, this is Ryan. And I said, hey, Ryan, you got any Fitbit Force? Expecting, how you're told no all the time.
Yeah.
And he goes, yeah, actually, we have a few in. What? Like, can you hold it? He's like, well, we really don't do that. I'm like, look, I'm 5 minutes away. There's not a line for him, is there? And he said, no. And I said, okay, I'll be right in. So I came in. They had 3 on the shelf.
Should have got me one.
I should have if I'd have known. But
they're what, $129, right?
They are $129 at a $75 Gallup. We have incentives for being healthy, and so I'd earned $75 towards, and then you can use that money towards fitness gear. And so I had used that, used 75. I had a $20 coupon, so I got the thing for about $46, I think, when all said at the end of the day. So a pretty good deal for me. By the way. Hold on before I go that route. So that's the Fitbit Force.
Yeah.
That's kind of a mini review from us, and I'm going to slice that out and throw that into another.
There you go.
Kind of into a little segment for the weekend. If you or for this, if you want more information on it, and maybe you just caught this through a Google search, come over to theaverageguy.tv, and we have more of this kind of information over there. So thanks for watching.
All right. So I got 2 things to add. Here. So one other Jim was asking about the Forerunner 110. I'd never heard of it, but he was asking you.
Yep.
I was looking at that, and so I've pulled up that page on the Forerunner,
right.
And it looks like it's $229.99.
Yep.
And it looks more like a real watch.
It is a runner's watch.
But
yes.
This would be going back to Drew's comments. Drew, your guest tonight.
Yeah.
And looking at the website here for the Forerunner, and looking at the website for the Fitbit Force, oh my gosh, it's like night and day.
They're totally different. Yeah,
the
they're totally
website
different purposes.
Yeah.
You're talking design. Okay.
I'm talking about the website design. I like being on the Fitbit Force website. It almost makes me want to buy this one over the other one because the website is so much better. But I don't know anything about the Forerunner.
Well, let me because other Jim asked a great question, right? Which is he says, I realize that they're not the same, but what made it the must-have over the GPS watch? Okay, this is a great question because I haven't worn a watch in a decade, right? This is the first thing I've put on my wrist in a decade, right? No watches. When I started buying cell phones, I gave up on the watch. I hate jewelry. So what did it for me Okay, over a watch. Well, one is I don't measure my runs when I run that way. I've been a little spoiled, and I run with other guys that do that, and they just include me on their stats from that standpoint. And I that watch is a little bit bigger. It doesn't track steps. You have to turn it on every time you want to measure something. I was more interested in my overall health throughout the day. So Tom Rath, one of our senior scientists at Gallup, has written a book called Eat, Move, Sleep. And his premise in a lot of that is we're just not moving around enough. And that's not he actually draws some conclusions based on some stats that it's not enough to work out an hour a day, right? So if you sit all day, then you go work out for an hour, then you go back to sitting, which is what I do a lot of, to be honest with you. That's not really great, right? You need to be moving around constantly. There's also some studies that show that we do best when we work in cycles. So 90 minutes on, 15 minutes off. It's different for everybody, but that's an approximation of what that is. So every 90 minutes, you need a break. You need to turn your brain off for a second, go get some coffee, something, give it a rest, come back. Generally, we work in 90-minute cycles. And so he kind of puts it together that, hey, every 90 minutes, you should be going out and doing something. So a couple of the things that we do. Well, one of the things that this does that the Forerunner, the 110, the Garmin, doesn't do is, and I shouldn't say doesn't, but it wouldn't encourage me to get up, okay, I'm going to go walk around the building and then turn on that watch. You wouldn't do that with that kind of watch. With this, it's tracking all the time. You get up, start walking. It's tracking. And I like that, right? And I can see kind of, the other thing is, okay, it sets goals for you. The Forerunner doesn't set any goals in there from a distance for the day or whatever. And so this is automatically on all the time when the Forerunner is not. It's really designed. The Forerunner is designed it's a race watch. You start it when you start the race. You end it when you end the race. It's GPS. It tracks your splits, your times. It's a race watch. I'll be honest with you that I'm still probably going to buy a GPS watch someday that I'll use when I race.
Yeah.
When I'm out running. That's what those are designed for. This is more of a lifestyle watch or a lifestyle device. This is going to measure you all day and sleep, right, as well. You saw the cool stats that I had when I sleep. So for me, two totally different devices, and I'd rather have the one. This has been motivating me over the last couple days. Like, I get up from a meeting and I got 10 minutes right to the next meeting. I'm like, okay, what's the longest way it would take me to get to the next meeting so I get the steps in?
Yeah.
Right? Because I'm in a competition with myself
That's
for that
good.
kind of stuff. One of the things, other gyms says set it and forget it. Yeah, that's not a bad way to say it. One of the other things we do, Mike, you're going to find this crazy, but this totally fits into the Gallup culture that I'm in. So my admin, who sits out on the floor in the middle, her and I have this little thing. She's got 3 little poker, well, they're not little, they're about this big. They were awards, little poker chips. And in the morning, we stack those up on the desk. And by the end of the day, we have to do sets of push-ups to remove those. So I'll walk by the desk. She's like, you ready? All right. There's a little spot on the floor. We get down, knock out 20 push-ups. We do that 3 times a day. Well, that's not a lot, and that's something everybody could do. It's been so good for me to do that.
Huh.
One, it kickstarts your metabolism. So, right, if you're sitting, like for me, if I'm not doing anything, I'm going to sit all morning. The metabolism starts to shut down, right? If, again, in that break cycle, if I can just pick up my metabolism just a little bit during that will sustain through the next meeting, right? I'll be burning more calories than I would have if I had done nothing or if I had gone for a brisk walk. So
Yeah.
I'm just trying to add more consistent activity that I can do at work, right? Now, not everybody can drop and give you 20 at your workplace, right? I get that. We do that.
That would be a little foreign in our workplace.
It would be weird. And you know what, to be honest, it was weird at ours when we first started doing it. We did the trainers. We have a fitness center with trainers. And they did this push-up challenge. And you had to get 200 push-ups in a day. Well, you're going to have to do some at work if you're going to get that many push-ups in during the day. There was big money tied to it. So we're like, okay, we got to figure out a way to do it. So we just started putting push-up groups together, and we'd get a whole group of people out. All right, let's go. Let's get your push-ups in. First couple times was weird. After that, It wasn't weird anymore.
Yeah, once you start doing it, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I can see that. Well, now I'm really thinking about getting one for me and one for
Cool.
my wife.
Cool.
That would be interesting to have.
Yeah. Well, what would be fun, Mike, is to then you and we can friend each other on that. And, we're super
Yeah, I
competitive
am
with
not going to compete
podcasting.
against you. Come on now.
I'm just saying, dude. I'm just saying we're super competitive. I might beat
Yeah.
you.
Oh no, there's no might. You would beat me on a continual basis.
Oh, that would be
It's
good.
like,
Well, but hey, it's the Fitbit's all about yourself, not
right.
others, right? You can compete that way. But it's so funny. My boss, she and her sister compete on Fitbit. And one weekend, she's really active. My boss is, and most of us at Gallup are really active. But so one Sunday she laid around all day, didn't do much, and her sister was checking the stats like in the afternoon, and they were super low. And she called her and she's like, did you die? Your stats aren't doing anything.
It says you're dead.
Yeah. And because she's typically, she gets her goal is 15,000 steps a day. Now, what did I do? 16 today.
Yeah, you
Today
did
is the first
16.
time I crossed 15.
Your
But I put
goal is 10.
my goal is 10. I'm going to amp that up. So every week now I'm going to amp it up till I get to 15. So next week it'll be 11. Week after that'll be 12. Now what I do, Mike, is I don't let myself get off the treadmill or stop working out until I've got my goal for the. I do my workouts in the evening, so I go into the fitness center about 4:30, 5 o'clock. I work out for an hour before I come home. I don't let myself leave the or this is what I've said to myself. I don't let myself leave the fitness center until I've got my goal and steps for the day. So tonight I was running, and actually the run felt really good. So I was supposed to be 4 miles. I did 5.25, right? And that just pushed things way out to where I got 15,000 because I had an extra mile in.
They're asking, do they do push-ups at Waffle House? Well, we're at a corporate office, and it wouldn't be slippery there.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to do it in the store.
No, I wouldn't want to do it in the store.
That would be weird.
That would be really weird. But no, we don't do it there.
It's just one of those things, I've got a little above me here in the studio. I've got a little 2x4 that goes across. You've seen most people have seen the office here. It's wood up there. And I guess, you know what? I need to publish those pictures that I did of the lights.
Yeah,
I showed you, but I didn't show anybody
studio.
else out.
Show us off the studio.
I redid the lights so that they're actually mounted to the ceiling now, which is really cool. But I've got a little bar. I can grab that and do pull-ups from off of it, and that's a nice. And so get up. Let me do a couple pull-ups. Right.
We have in a room right across from me, and I'm in the basement. In a room across from me, we have a Bowflex. The one with the rods where you do that, and then we have a punching bag, and the kids and I sometimes go in there. And this part of the house, of the basement, is finished. So I got carpet and sheetrock and all that stuff. The back room is not finished; it's still got a concrete floor. But what we did is we went to Walmart and they have these little foam pads that kind of look like the top of them look like the cross hatch metal stuff, but it's all foam. And I made the entire floor out of those. Nice. So you got this soft cushioned floor that the Bowflex is under. We got some of those individual weight things that you can pick up. Then I got from the 5, the 10, the 15, and the 25, or the 20 of those. I got double of each, so you could have them each. And then we have the punching bags. We have a little gym back there for that.
That's good. You use it very much?
I have not used it lately.
Yeah, well, the key to that, Mike, is just little bits.
Yeah.
The little. I've often thought. Drew sent me a nice thank you note via Twitter. I've often thought of setting an alarm at because I sit at this desk. It's way too damn long. Here for 2 or 3, 4 hours at a time, right? I thought I'd just even get a little egg timer. Now I couldn't have this click, 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 click going on, but I've set every hour I'm at the desk. When I sit down, set it for an hour. Oh, ding! Oh, that means get up, right? Go do something, walk around. I've even thought on the weekends, because, man, you and we'll sit all day on the weekend, like working on stuff. For every hour I'm here, I've got to walk around the block. And just even that getting moving is better than nothing.
My job as an accountant and in IT does not require me to move around a whole lot. So
Right,
yeah,
right.
I'm in spreadsheets for hours.
Yeah, yeah, and it's just good. It's just good to get up and walk around a little bit. You don't have to work out. You don't even have to do push-ups. Just walk around.
Yeah.
Make a lap around the building. Take the stairs. Go in the stairwell. How tall is your corporate headquarters?
Oh, it's 3 floors,
Oh,
and
easy enough.
I'm on the main floor that I walk in on.
Yeah. Well, but you go to at one end, walk up to the top, walk down to the other end, walk down the stairs, walk back.
That's true.
Once an hour.
Yeah.
And nope, and you're not working out, you're not breathing heavy, but you're getting some good movement.
And other
And
gyms talking about the elliptical. So we had a we still have a gym membership. We just got it on maintenance right now because we got busy with some stuff and stopped going. But that's actually when I was starting to lose the weight was when going to the gym on a regular basis. And I like the elliptical because one, when you're overweight, if you're doing something that is pounding like running or even on the treadmill, that's harder on your joints.
yes,
And I like going on the elliptical because it was, I could get a good workout on that, and it was not hard on the joints. My
yep,
wife didn't like that because that seemed to be harder on her knees for whatever reason. The elliptical, wasn't on mine,
hmm,
and she liked the treadmill better. But the good thing about a gym like that is you got a lot of choices.
right,
We have I don't know if they're nationwide, but the ones we have here, we have a lot of them here. But the one we were joined was called Lifetime. It is a fantastic gym, just gorgeous.
yeah. Solopta's making an interesting point, right? I think
Yeah.
there's two terrible things you can do to lose weight. One is run, two is walk. Both exercises are what your body gets very efficient at, and they work well for 3 to 4 weeks, and then they stop working. Right, your body just gets efficient in that. You got to mix it up. So, and he says can't afford a treadmill. Well, to be honest with you, to get a really good treadmill, nobody can afford them. They're
Yeah.
expensive, right? The cheap ones you buy at wherever you go buy them, those aren't even cheap, and they're not very good. And so I think a treadmill is a horrible buy. I like your Bowflex because you can get a variety of exercises. You really weight training is better for losing weight than cardio is anyways. Although you do need some
Really?
cardio. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Weight training. If you want to, I always tell people, right, get to lose weight. When you're running, you don't run to lose.
Zombie run. Zombies.
Yeah. There you go. There you go. Yeah, it's fun. It's fun. I have to learn how to run and walk. Actually, there's an app too for push-ups. You can turn on the app and then you put it on the ground, and then when you do the push-up, you touch your nose to the.
Oh my
You touch
gosh!
your nose, and
Really?
it counts. Yeah, it counts for you. It's pretty cool. But we always say don't lose weight to run, or don't run to lose weight. You lose weight to run. Running is the last thing you do, not the
Okay.
first. And that's the
Okay.
mistake a lot of people make is I'm going to lose weight, and they put a bunch of clothes on and they go for a run, and they get it done once. They come home, they're hurting. That's it, right? Don't do that. Go. I think if you want to work out at home, the easiest way to do that is to start with some easy exercises that are body weight. So you can do some body weight squats, some body weight lunges, right? This is all no equipment necessary. It's free.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it takes the same spot, the same distance, the same area as a treadmill, right? So
Yeah.
all you need is a little spot you can get in, like, just a clear spot
Yeah.
in your, all right?
Somewhere in
And
your house.
body weight squats, just bend down, come back up. It's not really hard. Bend down, come back up. That works both the glutes and the quads, and those are your big, right? Those are your biggest muscles. Those start burning calories like crazy.
Oh yeah, I can
Trust
see
me.
that.
10 body weight squats, 10 lunges, you're hurting the next day. If you're not used to that, you are hurting the next day.
Yeah.
So, you can do push-ups, you can do sit-ups, you can do crunches, you can raise your legs, right?
6 inches. We used to call those 6 inches.
Oh yeah,
So you're talking about laying on your back and raise your legs?
Yeah, right
Yeah.
on. The scissor kicks, right? There's a million things you can do. You don't need a single weight. You don't need a single band. You don't need anything. You don't need any equipment. You can just do them without equipment. And I always tell people get their core in shape first. So, start working on losing some weight, gaining some muscle, getting your body strong.
Yeah.
Then after you start doing that, then graduate to some of those harder running or elliptical or some of those things are so hard on you. That's why most people fail. It's because they start there and they don't. It's just a matter of. And if you're doing nothing, man, start with 15 minutes a day. That's
Yeah.
it. 15. Ease in.
That's true. And being able to do something at home makes it so much easier because then you don't have to find the time to drive to the gym. When I was going to go to the gym, one I had to. All right, where's the clothes? Is it clean? All right, I got my clothes. I got to change in the clothes. All right, let's drive to the gym. That whole process. So an hour workout turns into a 2 hour thing or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Once I got there, I once I got to the gym, I would typically have a podcast on my phone. I would have an audio one ready and a video one ready. So I'd have the video one ready when I'm on the elliptical. I would sit it there and have the earphones in and just be watching that thing. They got the TVs and all up there, but I don't care about that. I was watching somebody's podcast, either yours or some other one, while I'm sitting there, or standing there. Then when I go and do the weights, because they had weights there, I would switch over to one I don't care to watch. I just want to hear, stick it in my pocket, and go and do the weights. So that was good.
Well, remember this, Mike, that 15 minutes times 4 of walking equals 1 hour of walking. So some people they argue, well, I can never find time to get to the gym, right?
Yeah.
Because I'm going to go to the gym, I'm going to walk on a treadmill for an hour. Well, walking 15 minutes times 4 is an hour of walking. So
that's true.
If you can get 15 minutes in, or even 10 times 6, right? So, a 10-minute walk before breakfast, a 10-minute walk when you get to the office. This is where if you work in a big office building, man, you actually got a good deal. I mean, I think most people who live in a big office building, if you walk the perimeter of the building inside, if it's in the northern hemisphere, or it's in the northern part of the country, or on the inside, if it's well, you know what I'm saying.
Well, yeah. If it's cold out, you walk inside.
If it's cold out, walk inside. Yeah, and just briskly walk. I mean, if you're doing nothing, that's better than nothing.
True.
And so get up 6 times a day, once an hour. You should be, like I said, you should be doing that anyways. I mean, our patterns are just all off. Get to work early, get some work done, take a walking break, grab some coffee, work, take a break, right? Do 3 of those in the morning and 3 of those in the afternoon. That's 6. 10 minutes, that's an hour. You got your workout out. You didn't even have to go to the gym.
Yeah, that's true.
When
I was in college, we were having a big Thanksgiving get-together. And I don't have any photos where I can show you, but when I was in college, I had just started to gain a little bit of weight. And I guess I had lost some. And I come back to college, so I'm sitting at the table. I got my aunts, my uncles, my grandmother, my mom, my dad. We're all sitting there. And my grandmother says, "So, Mike, I noticed you're losing a little bit of weight. What have you been doing to lose weight?" And I go, "Grandma, I'm glad you noticed. I am having sex as often as I can."
Hey, it's exercise.
And
just saying.
The eyes of my mom and my grandma, boom, the biggest could be. I cannot believe you just said that, sitting at this table with who's.
That's so awesome.
That was the end of the questions from my grandmother.
I know. She's like she's never gonna ask you another question again.
Yeah, that was part of the purpose there, to shock them and to stop the questions that I was going to be getting after that.
That's awesome. Yeah, yeah. Well, and then one more preaching moment here.
Yes, go ahead.
So we talk about all this working out, right? And that's cool, but working out's only 20 to 25% of weight loss. The other 80 to 75 to 80% is diet.
Yeah.
You have to be eating the right, because trust me, I've run 5 marathons in the last 5 years, right? I've gained weight going into the marathons. It's not about the exercise. And so, and when you're training for a marathon, the 6 weeks, 8 weeks leading up to the marathon, man, you're putting some miles in. I'm talking about 40 to 50 miles a week that you're on the road running fast, and you're burning calories. And I gained weight. Going into that, right? It's what you eat that matters.
To that point, when I was doing the elliptical on a regular basis, so you're sitting there at elliptical, you put in your weight, you all that kind of stuff. So it gives you a guess at what calories you're burning.
Right.
And you sit there, and you're on there, you're standing there for an hour on this thing, and I'm building up a sweat, and I am feeling like I am doing a good workout. And I do the one where it acts like it does a randomizer, where sometimes it treats you like I'm going up a hill or something like that. It gets more difficult. And so I feel like I have really worked out, and when I get done, I've burned 300 calories, or whatever it was.
Exactly.
It was a fairly low number. I go,
exactly.
You have got to be kidding me.
Yeah.
That's less than a hamburger.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I need the workout where I burn in 15 minutes like 1,000 calories.
Well, you can do that. It just really hurts. I mean,
Well, no, I don't want that either.
yeah, there's no easy. Well, there is an easy, painless way to lose weight. Stop eating so much damn food.
Well, yeah,
That's easy and
that's the one
painless.
way.
That doesn't cause any pain, right? There's no sweat involved. I tell that people. I tell it to people all the time. Yeah, there's a way to lose weight, not sweat. Just
Yeah,
don't eat so much,
that's
you
true.
know. And so you can, if you control that diet. And listen, hey, I'm a bigger guy, right? I'm
Yeah.
225 here. I'll admit it. I'm 6 foot 225. I'm on the edge. I don't want you guys to think I'm some kind of skinny dude that's got it all put together. As it's tough at our age. It's tough
It
to lose
is
weight.
getting tougher, and there's a lot of great
Yeah,
questions out in chat right now. We
yeah.
we can go on for another hour with this,
Well,
with all the questions that are out there.
so they'd asked the question of the frequency to eat, and yeah, you want to eat more early in the morning, less at lunch, and even less at dinner. And the trick to this is protein at least 3 times a day. So some kind of, and I'm not talking about Atkins protein where you're eating bacon, and although it's not bad, um, but some kind of form of either animal or vegetable protein, right? Trail mix is a good source of vegetable protein. In other words, you can get, from the nuts and stuff, you can get that protein. The protein helps you keep you from getting hungry. That's which is really the key. If you're eating a lot of breads, which I'm not an anti-bread guy, but bread's got a lot of sugar in it, and that stuff burns really, really rapidly, and it actually makes you hungrier. And so, there are some tricks. Get as much protein in your breakfast as you possibly can. Eggs,
Chicken biscuit from Wendy's.
chicken.
I mean, chicken biscuit from Chick-fil-A. I mean,
Yeah, the delicious. Those are, well, the chicken, yes. The biscuit, no.
okay.
Right. That's the biscuit's
So
got a lot of butter and
all candy
sugars in it.
diet's not good.
The all candy first thing in the morning, not recommended. No.
Gotcha.
No, not a recommended diet. But reasonable, right? One time I lost a bunch of weight by counting my calories, and while that's not an exact science, it does help. You get to the end of the day, set a budget for yourself, and at the end of the day, when you're done, right? It will teach you not to spend all your calories at lunch, which is what we kind of do.
There was
meals throughout the day.
And for me, I had switched from regular Coke to Diet Coke. That really made almost no difference in anything for me. I know some people say they lose some weight.
Both are terrible.
For me, it did nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In fact, Diet Coke, I think, is worse for you, to be honest with you. It's chemical. I mean, think about it. You're drinking acid.
That's true.
Take a Coke, right? Take a piece of red meat, pour Coke on it.
I know. I've seen that. So what was working for me, because I had lost.
Yes, peanut butter rather than cereal.
I had lost somewhere around 30 pounds. I was right at the 30-pound mark. And what I was doing was I had an app on my phone, and I was logging my meals. And I wish there was an easier way to do that part. I was logging my meals, and you got to be, you can't say, well, these 4 cookies I'm going to have, it can't be that many calories. I'm just not going to count them.
It is.
But they were probably like 800 calories.
At least.
Yeah. So you got to be faithful with that stuff if you want it to really count. When I was really faithful with it, and I was counting those calories, and I was putting everything in here, the pounds were coming off. I mean, I was at the same time I was also working out, but I was losing between 2 and 3 pounds a week. So I was getting some good numbers.
You can do it.
And then something happened, and I got off track. And there was a time when I first got the cancer, I was like, wow, awesome. Now I'm just going to eat whatever the frick I want. Chick-fil-A breakfast every morning. I'm only going to be here for a little while longer. I am going to live this out.
Yeah.
And that got me on a bad track.
It's tough, right? I mean, yeah, it's a tough deal. Ken says he needs some better ideas for some quick breakfasts, and it kind of depends what you like, right? And if you didn't know this, 2 eggs in a microwave bowl, right? So take the eggs, and I'm not a big egg white versus yolk. I mix them all together. I think they're fine. In fact, I think you need the yolk. It's got more of the protein in it. But take the eggs, crack them, put them in a bowl, whip them up, throw them in the microwave. Depends on your microwave. I microwave them for about a minute, right? You could throw that on an English muffin. You got an Egg McMuffin, right? Don't butter it. Although butter's not terrible either.
What does it come out looking like when you do that?
It comes out look like a scrambled egg.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
super fast too. That's the thing about scrambled eggs is cooking the pan, and it
Yeah.
takes 15, 20 minutes. That's too long.
Yeah.
I can make an egg McMuffin in about 3 minutes with using the egg in the microwave. Take a little piece of ham and throw that on top of there, right? You get a little bit of protein.
Yeah.
And that's like, get some good deli ham to do that with. If you like chicken, go get some good deli chicken and put the chicken on it instead of the
You need
the
to
ham.
start another. You need to start another podcast,
I
Chuck.
had a fitness tech podcast. I just we stopped
We
doing
we
it.
got we got me. I'm sitting here still
Oh,
wanting to listen. You got
I
people out in
know.
chat. We're how many hours are we into the show, and
I
they're still
know.
listening, and
Yeah.
good feedback from them out in chat
It's
too.
good chat. Well, what we need to do, I mean, the thing is it's our demographic, right? We're all very similar, and so we
Yeah.
all struggle with the same stuff,
Tech fit.
and
No,
it's
no, you
tech,
did.
fitness tech is what it was called. Because remember, I had home tech, financial tech,
Yeah,
fitness
yeah.
tech,
No, I'm trying to think of a new name.
tech geeks. No, food geeks. I'm sure that's taken. Fitness, it doesn't matter. So other Jim says he started cooking steel oats for breakfast, but only twice a week because it stores. Yeah. Almonds are dynamite. That's a great.
Those are good.
Yeah. And they keep really well. So you can just grab a handful. It's all about easy. Grab a
Yeah.
handful. I love raisins. So I'll have to replace ham with something else. I'm a big
How about chicken?
Chicken's great. Ham, turkey, whatever. You can. There's alternative tofu. There's alternative proteins that are out there. Yeah,
What is tofu?
tofu's awful. That's what that is. No, Ken. This is a great topic. It's been a while since I've gotten to talk about this stuff, so it's pretty fun. It's a good reminder for me too to do some of these things. If I'm gonna have cereal, I'll throw a handful of raisins in my cereal. Raisins are little power pellets, man. They are energy. If you want an energy boost in the morning, you get your tannins, you get your basically it's all that good stuff that's in a grape without the water.
Love that. Are we in day 2 of the podcast yet?
Yeah,
Well, you know what's funny
is
is
like
in
CES.
30 minutes I am into the next day.
Oh my God, is it that late?
It's
I guess
11:30
it is
here in the Eastern
11:30
Coast.
Eastern. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, good stuff. Well, we should probably.
I think we should
Yeah.
have another chat like this again someday. I need to get back on something.
Yeah, so real quick before I go. So
Yeah.
Dave Jackson, good friend, right? We talked about him. He's the guy I'm podcasting with over at Ask the Podcast Coach. So Dave, the reason I say he's like a brother from another mother, because he has started a podcast for all the ideas that he has. He has I think he's got 17 podcasts. Now he doesn't do them all, but he's got Logical Weight Loss, and he had a Jillian Michaels podcast, and he's got a couple podcasting ones, and he's got a Feeding His Faith, and he's got so he is like me in the sense, the only reason we're different is I have the ideas, I never acted upon them. He actually acted upon all of them, and the dude has got a ton of podcasts. But yeah, I've thought, I don't know, if right now we're getting geared up to do a bunch of new podcasts there, so I'm kind of holding off on new podcast ideas.
Yeah.
If I could
already.
Yeah, I love doing it. If I could, I'd be a little Leo Laporte if I could find a way to do it and make money, and want to do it and make money. That's the thing. I don't want to make money, because as soon as I start making money podcasting, I'll hate it.
Yeah.
I'll hate it.
For
I still want to do
me,
it. I'd rather do it for free.
I still don't have the system down to the way I want it, and I don't feel efficient enough.
Yeah.
With it, and so until I'm there, I don't want to really take on too much extra.
Yeah. Well, it is. We got other things. We have other priorities. I mean, I was supposed to. God, I'm already behind. I've got, I said to you, I've done 7 podcasts in 8 days or something like that.
Yeah.
And I've got to edit, mix all those. So I've got one. I did one Monday that I still have to edit. I did Andrews that I was supposed to do tonight. We did financial tech today.
Yeah.
I'll probably go and get some coffee and knock that thing out before I go to bed. It's only 10:30 here, so
yeah, it's 11:30 here.
Yeah, Loftus says he likes the suggestions of putting raisins in this breakfast. Raisins go great in oatmeal too. After it gets all nice and hot, man, throw some raisins in there. And so other Jim says every 2 months make this. Okay, yeah, let's do that. I'll build that into the schedule. We'll do every other month or once a quarter we'll do a fitness emphasis.
There you
and
go.
We'll,
That's
we'll
a good
talk.
idea.
Yeah, we'll talk about. Well, we'll talk about some of the fitness stuff and try and put something like that together. So that's cool. It's a good idea.
Yeah.
Good idea. Fun.
Good talk.
Yeah, good
You're
stuff.
gonna get
Well,
up,
Mike,
move around. I think I need to give up, move
I know.
around.
Yeah, we need to do that. So thanks for hanging so long with me, Mike.
Yep.
Guys out there in chat, thanks for hanging out as well.
And
Great
thanks,
to see you
guys.
all. Now we're gonna cut you off. See ya. See ya, Mike. Take care.
Yep. Good night, everybody.